And I'm Adrian, and welcome to this week's episode of ActiveAid. Coming up on the show today, we have Shopaholicism, a live performance from a young and upcoming beatboxer, and a guide to the best places to be this coming week.
Now that sounds great. But tell me, Adrian, how much do you know about cage fighting? Surely that kind of thing only exists in the movies, right?
That's what you'd think actually, but people do take this up as a hobby, you know? Just look at this, guys.
Martial arts, well, the latest phenomenon, or craze should I say, started officially in a way in the early 90s with UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship in America. Even though there are records of the first mixed martial arts on the first Olympic Games, so 400 something before AD, called Pancras or Pancration. So it's actually, in a way, it's a very old, mixed martial arts are quite old, but well, they're just back on board. Ultimate Fighting Championship, as I said, started in the early 90s, and now is well, the largest fighting championship in the world. Second to that is Pride, or used to be, because they're now sold to UFC as well. You've got King of the Cage, Cage Rage in the UK, Elite Fighting Championships, Bodog, there's so many now, Ultimate Warrior Challenge, FX3, and so on and so on.
It's something I've always been interested in, really. I started off with karate when I was a kid, and then I did boxing. And then by fluke I found Storm on the internet and I came here.
I do Thai, kick and cage.
I'm doing cage fighting as well as kickboxing and Thai boxing.
With regards to mixed martial art, it demands a lot of conditioning, hard training, stand-up training, which means boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, especially Brazilian jiu-jitsu, with all the locks, chokes, arm bars, holds, throws, and so on and so on.
Got more groundwork in cage rather than Thai and kick, where you're on your feet all the time. And the training, we trained all like through the year to fight all three. So
obviously with cage fighting you have to learn a lot of grappling and you have a lot more things to consider than with kickboxing. So yeah, the training is quite different. Train just as hard, but you just have to learn different things.
You have to learn punching as well as a ground fight.
In order for fighters to get into mixed martial arts, they need a very high level of, well, first of all, fitness, mainly fitness and conditioning, technique, obviously some basic stand-up fighting techniques, so they have to be able to punch, elbow, sprawl, which means defend against shoots, when someone tries to take you down, which involves obviously a lot of running, weight training, loads of different conditioning, circuit training, all kind of with weights, without weights, with partners, sparring, bag work, head work. It's kind of like a triathlon of like cycling, swimming and running, only here it's like boxing, kicking, wrestling and submitting, so it's kind of like quite complex. And the only difference being really between Thai and kickboxing and a stand-up MMA fight is that the size of the gloves is 4 ounces. Groin guard, mouth guard, the same like in all the other martial arts.
It's only a sport. Yeah, people get hurt, but people get hurt in football and rugby and every sport there is. It's nothing personal. So.
But they, like you said, the dogs are there to kill each other, whereas we're there just to win the fight and walk at the end of it.
It's not more aggressive than a football and rugby, and the number of injuries is even less in the martial arts than in football. So the numbers speak for themselves.
That looked great, but I don't see myself taking up as a hobby, do you?
Definitely not. Well, now moving on to my favourite topic of today's show, shopping. Surely you guys enjoy it just as much as us girls, right?
Yes, of course, but it's different for us guys, you see. We don't have to stop in every single shop, you know.
But you have to go in all the shops. For example, this weekend I wanted a new outfit. So you buy the outfit and then you need to find the matching shoes, the matching handbag and accessories.
My point exactly, but do you guys know your limits when it comes to shopping?
Every year, millions of pounds is spent in retail on clothes by the consumer. In a society with record levels of debt, people are willing to spend large sums of money on expensive brand names, whether they can afford it or not. We spoke to the consumer about their shopping habits and what brand names meant to them.
How much do you spend on clothes in a month?
I'd say about £150 a month.
Around £30 to £60.
An average £500 I suppose. I spent like £300.
Mostly it's on impulse buying, so I just I'll be making my way home and then I'll just go see a shop. I'll look at a window and go in, look around, and then I'll just end up spending more than I really want to.
I bought a t-shirt the other day from one of the high street stores. I just saw it, liked it, bought it.
I suppose on jeans I've spent about 200, shades I've spent about 160.
How important are brand names for you?
Brand names, I think I should be an Adidas model because I love Adidas.
Sometimes brands don't really give you the quality.
I mean, yeah, just because it's got the status it has in it, you know.
One of the many stereotypes associated with students in university is their lack of financial comfort. We spoke to students about their shopping habits and if they reserved any money from their financial expenses for expensive brands.
Whereas, I don't know, I can spend up to, say, £300 to £400. Majority of the stuff I buy might be expensive, not because of literally the name brand, but it's because I know it's quality. See, when you was little, obviously your mum, you know what I mean, she's not gonna buy you trainers that's like £60 or £50, you know what I mean? It's it just shows you that you've grown up, you know what I mean? You can buy your own stuff, you can buy whatever you want when you want, you don't have no restrictions. Just in life, first impressions is very important, not only with opposite sex, with girls, boys, but also when you're going for a job or just general stuff, even asking someone for the time. So when you're stopping someone that you're meeting for the first time, it's very important that you either look nice or you come across in a good way.
We spoke to Dr. Joseph Tano from the University of Bedfordshire about addictions.
Shopaholism is an addiction, and every addiction is a psychological tendency. It has to do with a habit that has gone out of hands or got out of control, where people find themselves on a slippery slope in a certain behavioral domain. When people spend and keep on spending, the power of habit gets out of control and they find themselves on that slide, and they tend to derive much of their pleasure and a sense of esteem and image and even social relationships from shopping. People have social cliques, friends who call them up to inform them about sales and what's online and what's here and there, and based on that kind of social networking, people find themselves flocking together with other shopaholics.
Omnimania, also known as a shopping addiction or shopaholism, is the compulsive desire to shop. Although not a recognized disorder, omnimania has recently received increased media attention. Similar to compulsive behaviors, sufferers often experience the highs and lows associated with addiction. The purchase generates a mood of satisfaction for the addicted, which seems to give their life meaning and lets them forget about their sorrows. But when they arrive home, the feeling of personal reward has already gone. To compensate, the addicted person goes shopping again.
What are you doing?
You know, it's called beatboxing.
Yeah, I know what beatboxing